two, one, go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Triad of the Force podcast, a podcast from three Puerto Rican friends coming together to do deep dives into Star Wars and other nerd related media. As always, with you here is Nani, Goose, and Mo, and I will give it over to Goose to get us started.
How's it going, everybody? I hope everyone had a good week. Before starting, well, 2 weeks, I guess, since we were off last week. But before starting, we wanted to give a big shout out to Radio Rebellion for inviting us on his last show on August the 29th. So make sure to please check it out on his YouTube and his Anchor account. And don't forget to follow his YouTube and his Twitter at Radio Rebel Pod. So thanks again. Check him out. He's a great guy. We had a great conversation there. So it was good.
It was good. It was
Also,
really fun. Thank you, Radio
It was
Rebellion.
fun.
Yeah.
and it kind of will fuel what we're going to talk about a little later today. But we also wanted to do a big shout out to Pizza and Parsecs for flattering us by including us on their hashtag Follow Friday list of podcasts to follow. That was a very nice surprise. It's very nice to feel welcomed and embraced by the Star Wars podcast community. So thank you guys for doing that. The other thing we wanted to now talk about before diving into some of the topics that we have for today was some like interesting analytics that we were getting from like that first episode. We only expected to have three full plays, which were like us three individually listening to it, and maybe our parents and some of our friends. So maybe like a total of 5 plays. We don't actually have friends.
Yeah.
So that was we actually got as of right now we have like 37 total plays. So thank you to those 37 people that like wanted to waste their time with us and listen to us ramble on about nothing. It was pretty amazing to see that we engaged in some small capacity with some people out there. Uh, as expected, most of everybody was in the United States, 91%. 8% was in Puerto Rico, so a little disappointed that our Puerto Rican family ignored us. So apparently, our parents did not listen to our podcast. Gonna have to big chat with them. But most of everybody has been engaging from Spotify. 57% listened over there. Another 25% listened through Anchor. And even though like iTunes was the last one available really late, surprisingly we got like an 11% there. So thanks everybody for listening on those platforms. So please don't forget to like and leave us a 5-star review. Nothing less than 5, please, guys. And and a nice little comment or opinion there, because that'll definitely help out the podcast. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed on is that 81% of everyone listening is a dude. Wanted to have
Come on, more
engagement.
girls listen to us. Come on. I know there's girls out there that love Star Wars too.
That's the point of having like Nani's perspective. Is like we're not gonna have we're just gonna have like all bros here listening. Jesus, we want to be diverse and inclusive. But yeah, that's it going. Like, thank you guys. It's going better than we were expecting. That's for sure. What's everybody drinking today, by the way? What are you drinking, Nani?
I'm drinking Kettle One vodka on the rocks.
Mo, I think you were drinking water. Is that right?
I am drinking the most precious of H2Os into my system.
That's important to treat yourself to the most precious of anything.
That is correct. What about you, Goose?
Hey, well, I'm gonna do a self plug here because it was my birthday this week. So happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Goose.
Thank you. It feels good to be 21, I guess. Nah, kidding.
21.
I'm perpetually 21. No, another friend of ours, Christian, was gracious enough to buy me the best bottle. Believe me, I know all the best bottles, and I got a bottle of Aberlour Scotch. It's a single malt, double cask matured, 12 years old. It's pretty delicious. So thank you, Christian, for getting me that, which is what's going to be fueling my conversation today.
So productive birthday present as well.
Very productive, especially like during these tough
Isolation days.
Isolation days, exactly. So it's nice to have a nice bottle to keep you company, but in a obviously a healthy, responsible way.
Well, it's not like we're going anywhere, so.
True.
True.
But you still got to be responsible. Come on. You can't,
Okay.
You don't want to end up in like, oof,
Well,
like therapy for that. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so let's get going then. So we guys tried that Dragon Gone quiz. What do you guys think?
Oh man, it was interesting because I've always thought about the Schmodown and all like these big quiz stuff, and like I
know
go
you've
around.
always thought yourself superior at those.
Well, I'm not gonna go with superior. I'm gonna go above average. Because going through the Star Wars or Chicago trivia trails, I feel pretty confident going into that quiz, and I'm like, okay, I can hold my own. And Jesus Christ, that was a big dose of humble pie. That was hard, man.
It was intense. It was really intense.
It basically fucked up my week.
Now you feel like a loser.
Yeah, I feel like I really thought that we should just close this down. I was like, well, clearly we are just not we're not good. We're not good.
Yeah, we're not nearly as into it as we thought we were.
No, we are. Yeah, as like some of the gatekeepers would say, we're not true fans because we don't know what was the one that like really rocked my boat. Which Wookiee soldier fought in the Battle of Kashyyyk during the Clone Wars, was later enslaved by the Empire, and was rescued from Kessel by the crew of the Ghost? Wolf Waro, Tsuvoka, Grak Shawa, or Atashitzik, or whatever the fuck you say it. One, I can't pronounce any of those fucking names, and two, like that fucked my life.
Yeah.
So
it was.
I thought I would do better than average, but I just did average.
I think we're all very, very there in the middle. Barely.
What do you think of it, Mo?
Did we lose Mo?
Maybe he's just drinking like his most precious of waters.
Maybe he is drinking his most precious. There he is. What did you think?
I'm pretty sure that was not water.
I was humbled by it. I honestly I was sure of only about less than 10. Like I was like, I know less than 10 of them. So I was like, I don't know anything about Star Wars. But then again, those things were really, really obscure in a lot of senses. But I am proud that at least I know one most names.
Yeah, that was good. No, and Lando Calrissian. That was another trick question there. Like, what is Lando Calrissian's real name? I'm like, wait, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, I know. It's good to be able to say that we answered any, honestly, because some of them was so obscure. It's like, okay, well, at least I knew some. So
yeah. I mean, I think it was really cool to kind of see it and do it because it will tie into what we're going to talk about celebration later, but like kind of made me appreciate like how diverse fandom can be. Like,
and how into it some people are. Like we think we're awesome at it, and then it's like, no, not really.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people way more into it than we are.
Yeah, so that was humbling in a good way because it's like, hey, I mean, you can be super into something in one way and maybe not another way, and it still counts. There's no one right way to do it. You don't have to get a 45 out of 50 to be a true fan. There's no right way to do it. So that was fun in that way.
You can get 0 out of 50 and still be a true fan.
Yeah, you could. You can still appreciate it and not know anything. Come on. You can't judge people like that. People can be fans and not be uber fans.
You gotta get a 1 out of 50 at least.
But anyway,
a 0 out of 50.
No, okay. But anyway, I think that, any of our listeners who want to play it, it's the Star Wars Trivia Contest at DragonCon 2020. And if they want, they can post, the results for us and stuff. So we can be even more humbled if our listeners are even better at us.
We shared it on Twitter. So comment on it.
Yeah, they could do a lot better than we, and then we can be even more humble that we have listeners that are better than we are. So
and they can take over our podcast. Yep.
Hi, everybody. So if you think we randomly got cut off, we completely did. We had some definite technical difficulties. So let's thank, alcohol for helping us not know how to do something.
It's never a good idea to not know what you're doing and drink at the same time.
Yeah. That's a better way to state it. Agreed.
Definitely never a parade.
That does not
machinery.
mean we are stopping our drinking, though, because we are not quitters.
And it also does not mean we're going to stop talking. So, shall we continue, Goose?
I guess. I mean, now I'm all flustered. But I guess we were talking about like the Dragon Con quiz, and that was fun. But I think the other thing we wanted to like mention, kind of touch on quick before going into like the main topic for today was like the very contentious article from the John Boyega interview. Did you guys have a chance to read it?
Yeah, I did. I don't really want to go into it too much because we really want to go on the whole diversity issue, deep dive into it for a full episode. But I think it's worth mentioning that, it's cool that he finally, broke his silence about the whole Star Wars experience. And it was an interesting read. I mean, I don't really want to get it too much into like what I liked and disliked about it, because then I'm going to lose the whole episode. But I welcome, everybody to read it. I think it's really, really, it's interesting, obviously, because John Boyega himself doesn't just talk about Star Wars. It's a lot about him, and I think it was a really good interview.
What do you think, Mo? You're losing Mo, apparently. We're having more technical difficulties here.
Oh, Mo says we're getting cut off.
Interesting, because I hear you just fine.
I hear you perfect as well. I think we're gonna have to redo this part again.
No,
just keep going.
Well, no, we'll see. Let's see. We might have to do it again if Mo doesn't just show up again. But let's give him. There he is.
Again, technical difficulties.
How's the internet at your house? Apparently, you're like having some internet issues.
Apparently, that's what happens when there's like a light rain in Puerto Rico. Wi-Fi just goes haywire.
Yep. Just a little rain, just a little wind, and we lose
just
electricity. This is Puerto Rico.
So
I'm in Chicago. I don't know about those problems anymore.
Oh yeah, thank you for that, Goose. Thanks.
Of course.
Thank you for putting salt into the wound.
Into the wound. Yes, we appreciate that very much. Anyway, Mo, what did you think about the Young Boyega interview?
I think he was right in speaking out.
Yes.
It's rarely, when an actor embraces their whole personality and goes out of the way to actually explain what happened within the development of a character, how from the beginning, at least I was excited, like, oh wait, I see a trailer, there's is Star Wars heading for the diversity that we were all expecting for. And with Rose, the character for Rose Tico, even Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaacs, yeah.
Like all of the quote unquote minority characters were done a disservice. Their stories were never fleshed out. It's almost as if Disney was checking off their quota of diversity, like, oh, here's the face.
Yeah.
They're not typical white actors, so we're okay. No, there's a nuance, and it goes to the fact that when as minorities were growing up, we see the movies and we create our own worldview that lacks that diversity. So I applaud John for stepping out of his way and actually, it might
pointing it out, and saying it.
Yeah, pointing it out, and I'm really grateful for it. It was a really good read, also.
Yeah,
well, so
and one of the good things that he says, which is the saddest part, it's the fact that not only were they sidelined, but at the beginning it seems like they were going to be really important characters. So you have this like hope that you're going to get so much more out of these characters, and then it's like the promise never comes to fruition, which makes it even worse, I think.
Yep.
So, well, especially, I mean, that's true with like his character, at least in The Force Awakens. But Oscar Isaac, like originally, he was killed off like almost immediately after they crashed on Jakku. So he was actually saved after the fact. So it's kind of like he's kind of a footnote in that movie in a way. But what I want to say like about the arc that I really found interesting is that I think it kind of made me think about how these movies are made in our day and age right now, because I was thinking, well, were like the characters from the original trilogy or in the prequel trilogy as fleshed out as like we demand like the characters now are? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. It's just like a question that I was thinking about now. But I think the important thing about it is that we are thinking critically about that and like how we want like our characters to be not only like represented in terms of like the diversity of real life, i.e., POC representation, but also like how those characters are not, as Mo said, not just a checklist or a check mark. They need to be like real, fully fleshed out characters, which is kind of like interesting. I was out last night with a friend, and we were actually talking about the John Boyega thing, and we were touching about like the cynicism of Disney with like some of the diversity that they include in their films, and how it's kind of a double-edged sword, because like on the one hand, I think it's important to also acknowledge that Disney is like one of the few, at least in my opinion, one of the few companies that's actually doing like a big push to have that representation going on in their films more actively. But I think what John Boyega is really important in what he said, because it kind of puts that diversity that Disney's doing in a critical lens. And it's just like, okay, it's good that you're doing, and we have to applaud that, but like we also have to discuss like the how and the why, and always demand better, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So it will be really cool to dedicate like a whole episode, on all the diversity and what we would like to see as well, going forward into whatever Star Wars is going to do from now on, because what we have seen is that the fandom is very diverse. So
yeah, and I think when we talk about it, we also should probably like find a guest that can speak of like the African American perspective better, because obviously the three of us are terrible people to talk about that perspective. We can obviously talk about our own.
We can talk about the Latino perspective, but that's
which
about
is completely
it,
different.
Yep. Agreed. So anyway, anybody that hasn't read the John Boyega interview, you should read it. It's very interesting. And with that, we should start moving on to the main theme that we wanted to cover on this episode. So that is Star Wars Celebration. If you guys want to listen again to the Radio Rebellion podcast, we touched about it a little bit, but we were mostly focusing on what could have been if Star Wars Celebration would have happened last weekend. But today we wanted to talk more about our experiences when we have actually been there. So guys, why didn't you get started?
Well, I kind of want to like kind of go back a little bit actually, and like do mention a little bit kind of my disappointment with like Lucasfilm and their lack of doing
a virtual
sort of virtual. I mean, I'm not saying that they had to do a virtual event, but I think that they kind of cheaped out on us and just did like that bullshit merch store, like with like maybe 5 overpriced T-shirts and a couple of Tiki mugs, and it's like, really, guys? I mean, you didn't. At least you should have pulled out all the stops and like get me that sweet ass Lando shirt from Celebration Chicago or something. But like I was very disappointed. No Mandalorian trailer, no really big cool announcements. Just 5 shitty T-shirts that obviously I bought because Lucasfilm will always get my money.
I love how you complain about it and you're like, oh, but I bought everything anyway.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. And it's just every time one of the movies comes out, I buy it again. It's just like, it's a pact I made with George Lucas when I was like 11. It's like, you're going to get my money. I'm going to bitch about it.
It doesn't matter which format it comes out. I'm going to buy it. That's
exactly.
Your attitude.
It's like, you're going to get my money. So it's like, I know you're going to take advantage of me. So at least listen to me bitch about it.
Okay. And you guys have to be really disappointed because you guys were planning to go to Anaheim last weekend, right?
Yeah, me and your brother were supposed to be there, and it was going to be awesome, and we were really excited. We had like our Star Wars night passes and everything. I was ready to cry like a little bitch in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Oh no, you had passes for that too? I didn't know.
Yes, we had passes
for
that.
The whole package.
We were ready, which we will talk about in a couple of minutes about like how our experience has made us mature into more savvy convention goers.
Well, I gotta say, it was really bad for you guys, but I feel like kind of good for myself because I would have been incredibly jealous of you guys last weekend. So.
No, it's probably a blessing in disguise because now I think hopefully you get to go.
Yeah,
and we can get the band back together, and we're gonna be featured podcasters, maybe.
Maybe we'll be featured
podcasters. We'll see what happens.
You know what? No, not maybe. We will.
The secret you're gonna project.
That is a good attitude, Mo. Go with that.
There's no maybe. Either you try or do not try. So we will try.
Oh,
that's true from a certain point of view.
Oh God. Plagiarism.
Hey.
Create,
say that shit.
Create. Yeah. Do you want us, Lucasfilms, to shut us down? I mean, come on.
No.
They need us. They need us. Because of our conversation with Radio Rebellion last time, that's why they released the date for Mandalorian season 2. Come on.
Oh, really? We're not.
That was our influence.
I'm pretty sure we're not that powerful.
Well, we can disagree.
That's what
respectfully.
We can disagree respectfully.
Palpatine. That's what some people said about Palpatine before he became the Supreme Chancellor. So.
Oh, okay.
I love democracy.
Yeah.
I love democracy.
Okay, guys, come on. We're going on a tangent here. Let's continue talking about Star Wars Celebration. You already whined about the fact that it didn't happen. We get that.
Yes.
So,
I bitched. Yes.
Yes, you got that.
It's out of your system.
So anyway, the first one we went to, and we all went together for that one, was Orlando. So what did we learn from Orlando, guys?
We learned that we were fucking idiots and we had no idea what we were doing.
Yep.
And that we are definitely not too cool for school.
Yep.
What about you, Mo? What did you think?
I think that sort of sums up everything. The biggest lesson. The other lesson is, guys, we have to do the lines. We have to actually wait in line, and that's part of the fun. You know, at first we were like, you know what? No, we don't have to wait in line. We can get a Mark Hamill signature. Like, we got 3 days here. Come on. We were clearly on the wrong.
I mean, causing the mini riot was fun though.
Oh, we'll get to that. No, don't jump. Don't get ahead of yourself. No, I think it was so funny. Obviously, I mean, at the time it was funny, but now it's even funnier in hindsight. Just getting there and like meeting up. We're at the Airbnb. We're like, okay, we're gonna get some booze. We're not like these other nerds. We're actually cool nerds. We're gonna drink and get fucked up and just roll up whenever we roll up and get into whatever we want to get into, because what could go wrong?
Yeah,
many
that
things.
That was the wrong attitude
things.
to have. Many things went wrong.
Many things. We did do the first part. We got the booze and got drunk, and then we showed up, and we got there late, and the massive line to get in was like, what the fuck is happening?
What is this? Yeah.
Then we get in, and it's just like, where is everything? I didn't know that there were things that you kind of had to get bracelet. I felt like I had as clueless as I've ever felt.
I felt like the biggest noob of all time. It was horrendous.
And then I remember that all of us were at the autograph hall, and like Mark Hamill, which is like, is the holy grail of autographs for me.
Holy grail.
He was still available because there were the screens that were saying like the times for all the autographs and photographs, and he was available. And we were like, the line is too long. We'll come back later.
We're so lame. I feel so lame for doing that. I can't believe it.
We were so cool and confident. He won't sell out. Oh my God, so bad. It was terrible.
We were so wrong in so many levels.
Like Luke Skywalker would say in The Last Jedi, everything that you said is wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill wasn't even at Chicago, right?
No, he was not, because apparently all the fans from Orlando scared him off.
Yeah, well, we could have been one of those fans that scared him off.
Oh, I definitely would have scared him off. I would have been crying and just telling him that I love him.
I love you, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we walked by it, and he seemed really nice.
He he seems like, and from what I've seen from like actual fan interactions, he seems like he's probably one of the nicest celebrities out there.
Yeah.
Humble and shit.
One of the coolest persons out there. Yep.
Yeah. I cannot believe we thought we were too cool to just wait in line. Ugh.
I mean, we did get into the Rebels panel, which was cool.
The Rebels panel was cool. We got into the Battlefront panel, which was really cool too.
We won a PlayStation. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We
didn't get anything, I think, in Orlando.
I'm pretty sure we didn't. We got some t-shirts and stuff.
We didn't
I
even
got
get
some
posters.
Well, no, I got it. No,
like the
but
freebie stuffs.
Oh no, we didn't get any of the freebie stuff. How jealous were we when people started walking out with the Last Jedi poster?
Oh, salty. We were saltier than Crate.
We were so angry. I mean, we were giving the evil eye to everybody we saw walking around with it. It was one of the best posters, I think. That poster was fantastic.
I
still love it.
So good. Yeah. I mean, all the posters. I mean, obviously, this is not what this is meant for, but I still have to do it. All the posters for The Last Jedi were amazing. All the posters for The Force Awakens were shit. The Rise of Skywalker actually had.
Yeah, the Rise of Skywalker had good posters. Yeah,
but the Last Jedi ones were. Oh my god, those were art.
Yeah, the Last Jedi ones were fantastic. I mean.
So we didn't get any exclusive posters. We didn't get any autographs or photographs. We didn't get any of the exclusive books that they had there. We did see Ashley Eckstein from far away when she was signing the Ahsoka book.
And we were like, oh my god, we can see her.
Exactly. Instead of like being like, oh wait, we could actually just get in line and meet her for free. Because she was doing that for free.
Wait, she was at that moment?
Yeah.
I think that was a free signing actually.
Wow.
I'm sure that there's some nerd
many of these people are so cool.
That's going to correct us.
Yeah, somebody's going to know more than we do.
Well, apparently everybody knows more than we do based on that Dragon Con quiz and our experiences at Celebration.
I mean, it was still kind of cool to watch the first trailer for The Last Jedi at the show floor.
Oh, yeah.
With just everybody there. I mean, that was so fun. And we met a lot of cool cosplayers while we were waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like, even when we failed, we had such an amazing time. Like,
it was great.
Just meeting the fans on the general floorboard, walking around. I'm like, my bank account is gonna hate me because I'm gonna waste all of my money on everything that I see around. Like, it was still within our failure. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
The greatest teacher failure is.
Correct.
Yeah. I will keep dropping Last Jedi quotes until I die.
It's not a bad way to go, Goose. It's not a bad way to go. But no, it was so much fun. Because
it was.
We really did. Obviously, we went in thinking we were too cool for school, which was wrong of us. And then, we obviously degraded into little kids once we actually got there. It's like going to Disney World. You're like, oh, I'm too old for Disney World now. But as soon as we walked in, we were like, oh, this is super fun. Let's go everywhere. I mean, it made you feel the love for it all over again. And to see so many fans that are completely accepting of all those people around there, you don't really get a lot of the negativity. At least, when I went, I didn't go to Chicago, but at least in Orlando, you don't really get as much of that negativity that you sometimes see from the fan force. Everybody was really cool, so.
And you get to see people from all over the world. I think that to me was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, seeing fans from all over the world and like how much like this means to them on every level.
And to also see what they're fans of. Because, all the cosplayers, not everybody was doing the main characters. A lot of people were doing a lot of like random side characters, and those are their favorites. And it's so cool to see, like, from other people's perspectives, what they love about Star Wars. That isn't necessarily the mainstream.
I mean, the running of the Wilrow hoods were always was a surprising thing for me. I didn't know do you remember that, guys? Or did we not? I know I saw it in Chicago. I don't remember if we saw it in Orlando. Do you know what I'm talking about, Nani?
What?
The running of the Wilrow hoods. Is that how it's called? Now I'm doubting. Now I'm just second guessing myself every time I mention something after that Dragon Con quiz.
It's like, I don't know.
Well,
anything. Let me.
Yes, I'm saying it right. The running of the Wilrow hoods. You remember that guy from The Empire Strikes Back that has like the orange jumpsuit and the mustache running around with like the ice cream maker?
Oh my God.
That like super secondary, not even secondary, tertiary character that like only appears for a split second. There's like this whole convention, a tradition of like I don't know if
Just
hundreds, but
people
like
running
a
around with ice
shit ton of people dressed like him, just like running around the whole convention with their ice cream makers. And like when I saw that, I'm
No,
like, this
they
is.
didn't do that. They didn't do that in Orlando.
Let me. Oh, yes, they
They-
did. Yes, they did.
they
They did?
I just found it here. Yep, running of
I
the
didn't.
hoods, 2017. We
I
clearly
didn't
didn't see.
remember that.
Well, because we were again another failure of ours. We,
I
just,
know. Yeah.
But I saw it in Chicago, and I was just like, "What the fuck, man? This is fucking weird."
What is?
Uh,
I mean, it was cool. We saw like a whole bunch of Wookiees together, and we saw a whole bunch of Mandalorians.
oh,
Together.
the Wookiees. The Wookiees are really cool.
Yeah.
The Wookiees, the Mandalorians were really cool too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are like and the level of details they go into. They're like each Mando armor is in itself a piece of art. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a
Gosh.
passion. It's a dedication that I do not possess. But then again, I'm not into the cosplay so much, so like I don't think I require that dedication if I don't.
You want to cosplay, Mo?
Yes.
I mean, I
would
think
love to
cosplay is actually very empowering if you're into it. I mean, I think it's really cool to like do that and like seeing like how much joy people like get from it and like how creative they can be with like their costumes is like it's pretty fucking amazing. Honestly,
It is, and they're kind of celebrities unto themselves at these conventions. These people stop them for pictures and all that. It's great. I mean, it's fantastic. Mo, what would you go as?
That's a great question. Well, if I had the resources, I would love to pull a full like Wookiee costume. Like
oh yeah,
even if I'm sweating in there, like
you wouldn't care. You go full Wookiee.
I wouldn't care. I would go full Wookiee. If not, great question.
What would you do?
One of my favorites.
What
I don't know, but one of my favorites was that like 300-pound man in the Princess Leia bikini. And the best part of it is he's walking around as if he looks exactly like Leia, like owning it. Like
you gotta own it, sister.
Sexy. Yeah. That was great.
He was sexy.
That.
He was sexy.
Yes, it was great.
At every level, it was just amazing.
It was fantastic.
I think one of the best cosplays that I saw over was I think and they probably were like this together with it was Governor Price and
Thrawn.
Satine.
Oh
no, it was like just on point. Like I was like at that moment I hadn't seen Rebels or Clone Wars, so I was like, who the hell these characters are?
Oh, now I remember the Satine one. Yeah. That was really good.
Satine was so on point.
The other one that really blew my mind was the Luke Skywalker Force Ghost one. Remember that like the guy had like the little blue mesh like around him, so he actually looked like a fucking Force Ghost.
Yep. That was cool.
With like lighting and everything, it was just amazing.
I was like, what the fuck, man? It's like.
Like, who thinks of this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, not only who thinks about the costume itself, but like, how do you figure it out?
Yeah, that was really cool. I
think one cool thing that Nani missed in Chicago was the walk
salt on the wound.
Salt on the wound. But there was. I don't know how like it was like the procession like on Naboo, and you had like every guard. Then you had every single like the princesses like companies. What are the names? I don't remember.
The handmaidens.
And then you had the handmaidens, yes. And then you had Padme in the middle, and they were all just walking down the aisle.
No, they did the whole procession thing.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I would have loved that.
I was like, wow, like the level of dedication that went into this.
And that was just fans?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fans.
Wow.
No, and they also did a different one. Like I didn't get to like see it. I saw the pictures afterwards, but there was like a whole bunch of like this was in Chicago, a whole bunch of Ahsokas. All girls that dressed up as Ahsoka, with full makeup and all the Leku headdress shit and everything, and like just this massive. It was for Ahsoka Day, I think, and they all just went there dressed together. Like I think probably hundreds of them or some shit, taking a massive picture together. It's just like this whole. And it was like all the different types of Ahsoka, right? Like from Ahsoka from the early days, or the younger one, to like the rebels, badass Ahsoka with the staff and the cloak, full Gandalf the White shit.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And they got to meet Dave Filoni because Dave Filoni fucking took a picture with them. So it's just like
that's awesome.
Like, why don't I do those things? I could meet the man and give him a hug.
That is awesome. And that is what, if you were asking before what I would go as, if I had the monetary and the makeup skills and the everything, I would totally go as Ahsoka.
I mean, that's
nice.
She's the best. She's the best.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She is the best.
It's a quick side note. That's why I'm a little worried about her doing her crossover to live action, because she's so precious, as she is. That kind of like, I don't want to.
If she's done well, it'll be fantastic. If she's done even less than what she's supposed to be, it's gonna be a tragedy, honestly. Like if she doesn't meet up to what she actually is from the books and the series, it's gonna be really sad. But if she's done well, it'll be really, really cool to see her.
I mean, I already feel betrayed with it a little bit, because I still think that Ashley Eckstein is Ahsoka Tano. So like in the back of my mind, I've always been like, okay.
You feel betrayed by the casting?
Well, not necessarily. Well, obviously it's complicated if you're gonna cast like an A-lister like Rosario Dawson. What I'm about to say doesn't really work. But in the back of my mind, I always thought that like they should have done like a Darth Maul type of shit, where Ray Park is physically Darth Maul, but then Sam Witwer does the dubbing. At least in Solo, in Phantom Menace, I forgot who the actor was, but it was still the same thing. There was a physical actor and then a voice actor. And I kind of felt that for Ahsoka, they should have kind of done the same thing. Should have kept Ashley, because she built the character, she is the character. So the fact that like she was, I don't know if she was aware of like any casting, or they had talked to her before they were going to do it to like let her know and whatnot. But I still feel like they did her dirty, I feel, because, that she is Ahsoka, period.
Especially like after all her influence with like her universe and this, like she's been like that spearhead with like, how can we make like Star Wars more diverse, more inclusive of females? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, your most iconic character, you're not gonna play it.
Exactly. You have to let it go.
Yep.
We'll see what happens, guys. Don't get ahead of yourselves yet.
But speaking of Ashley, Moe and I, sorry, Nani, we have to put the saltier than crate on you. Moe and I were able to have our photo up with her, and she was amazing. I mean, everything that I've read about her and seen about her and imagined about her is
all true.
She is definitely she lives for her fans. Like, it's amazing, everything.
You guys are just pouring out the salt today. It's very mean.
Well, I mean, you did choose that we were going to talk about this today, so you knew this was going to happen. We'll get to sexual chocolate in a minute to kind of balance it out. But Ashley was just so amazing. It's like you could tell that she's actually genuine about her, about her persona with the fans, because like we got what we have been sold. Like we were, at least I was expecting someone like super bubbly and friendly, and that's what we got.
And she knows like her character is a very important character. Like she understands, like Nani was saying, like why we all love Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. I think she tries to embrace, like on her own level, she did. Like,
she embraces the character and how important it is to people.
Yep.
Which was kind of the opposite experience we had with Sexual Chocolate. And for those who do not know who Sexual Chocolate is, obviously it is Lando Calrissian, the man, the myth, the legend, Billy Dee Williams.
What does the D stand for?
The D stands for not dick, as it should be.
Oh my God.
And when I say dick,
you are really You were disappointed by that, weren't you?
Well, I was when I said dick in my mind, I was just thinking because of his glorious penis, but it kind of applies to what I'm going to say now.
Wow, Goose.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I can imagine. I can imagine.
That's why 81% of our listeners are dudes.
Yep.
Well, everyone fantasizes about Billy Dee Williams. It's not just the ladies; the men fantasize about him too. But no, the D stands for December. His actual name is William December Williams.
That is just sad.
That blew my goddamn fucking mind when I found that out.
Anyway, tell us about meeting him. Come on.
Well, at first I thought the D just was D. I honestly didn't think it stood for anything. But like our experience meeting him was really weird because like this was in Chicago, obviously, because we already established that Orlando was a failure. And we'll kind of get back to our only success in Orlando in a minute. But going back to Billy Dee, I was in the line to like go get my Star Wars book that I have like most of my autographs in, signed by Ian McDermott. So I'm in that line. Yes, Nani, that was a little salt thrown.
I know you have Ian McDermott too. I know you do. Thank you. I'm starting to stay quiet here in my corner and cry. Okay.
No, if you're gonna cry, at least make it audible so that we get more click. But we were in the line. I don't remember if you were in the line with me. We were talking to this like lady, and that lady, you could tell she knew what was up. She knew how to do celebrations. She's done it before. She had her little foldable chair. I was impressed. I'm like, oh shit, that's the level.
Even her child was a better professional than us.
That little kid. I don't know how old he was. Maybe like I don't know how young are kids nowadays. Like maybe 9 or some shit. I don't know. He seemed like a convention veteran. He could kick our ass like 10,000 ways. But anyway, we were talking with her and like she really fun conversation. She's really excited to meet Ian McDermott. Yada yada yada. And then all of a sudden she asks us like. Okay, so what other people are you gonna, have, autographs for today or the rest of the convention? And we were like, oh, well, Billy Dee Williams. We were super excited to meet Lando Calrissian. And she's like, oh. And we were like, wait, what? What the fuck? I mean, no one.
Like, what's up with this reaction?
No one is dissatisfied with sexual chocolate. He is infamous for pleasing ladies and men alike. And we were very curious. It's like, hey, lady, what the fuck? This is sexual chocolate. Well, we didn't say it that way because she had a child, so we have to temper our bombastic vocabulary. Sorry. And then she's like, oh, he's just not good with the fans. He's just in it for the money, and like he doesn't interact, and she told us a story when she was getting his autograph with her kid there, and that he was like nothing, like no emotions, no nothing. He signed the thing, and the next person, and then we were like, oh well, no, maybe that was just that day. Maybe he had a hernia or something, or some kidney stones. Maybe the man is like 1,000 years old. I mean, you gotta give him some slack. So we were doubtful of her story, but then like we met the man when we first. I think we took the picture with him first, or did we get the autograph, Mo? Which was first? I think the picture was first.
I think that yes, the picture was first.
So the picture was interesting because like I honestly do not know if that was Billy Dee Williams. That might have been like a Madame Tussauds. Yeah, I think that was either a Madame Tussauds wax figure or some like
or pod person,
or like a very cheap Disney animatronic thing, because like it was just like a elderly man sitting in a stool, and he did not move.
Not alive.
All he did, the only way that I thought he was alive was because he was like serious at first, and then he just smiled in the picture. But that could have been an animatronic. Animatronics can smile. Yeah. I've seen more advanced shit at Disney World, so that is within the realm of possibility. So like
breathing.
I don't know. I don't know if he can breathe. I don't know. Honestly, I do not know. I mean, it was just so nonchalant. Like I understand, like they have to meet hundreds and thousands of fans a day.
But it was like an empty cell.
Exactly. It wasn't like Warwick when we met Warwick Davis. Like you could, like he was very, like you could tell, like between groups that he would like kind of have to go into himself and kind of reload, kind of detox from the last group and then start again. But like when he starts again, he's all smiles and friendly. So like you can see that it's taxing, but he's still trying to be a friendly, outgoing person to the fans. Billy Dee, at least in the photo, he was just like a whole bunch of nothing. Maybe it's just because he's old and jaded and he's all in it for the money. But like it was bad. And then we took the Mo has the better story about the autographs, but then with the autographs, he's just like wearing his sunglasses. He doesn't look at you. He just signs your book or whatever the shit you have, and you're gone.
That's it. No pie. No thanks for being a fan.
Unless you do what the guy that was before Mo or after Mo did.
What do you do, Mo? What happened?
So this person just went out of their way to try to fist bump.
No, the zombie, the Lando zombie.
The Lando zombie.
Okay.
But, so at least I saw a little bit of reaction from.
Oh, okay. So
the only thing he did after signing was he raised, I think it was his left arm because it had like a big ring on it.
Oh yeah, the man has got some style. I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah, oh definitely. Yeah, so he's got the style, he's got the bling, he got everything. But he raises his hand.
None of the charm.
I'm sure he can turn on the charm if he's interested.
Yeah.
I'm sure among friends there's charm, but not among fans. He just raised, and then across from there's like a double table, like those full double tables. So there's like two sections. He didn't even stretch anything. He just put the fist up, and this dude just like had to almost
climb over the table.
Climb over the table to touch his fist. Sort of back, and that's it. Like no sign of like respect, no sign of expression, nothing. He was just like, this like he probably was like, I should charge more for this.
Wow.
He wasn't cheap.
And that's really sad because I know the whole experience must be, like you said, exhausting, but you sign up for it.
Yeah.
If you're going there and you're going to meet fans, you know what the fans are going to be like. You've been doing this for years. So if you're not up to it, don't go.
Yeah.
And if you do, at least have at least the decency to pretend to be nice for one day.
Well, yeah. I agree with you. You don't have to be Ashley Exley and be all bubbly and shit, but at least say like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. Or like, thank you for being a fan or something. I mean,
even if it's fake, it's like, hey, I'm paying you. Please acknowledge me for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Pretend to be nice. I'm paying your bills, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know
how many times I bought your movies? God damn it.
Yeah. So.
But then on the other spectrum is Ashley. She was just
amazing.
In every level. Like she was just like you felt like her presence. You felt her. I really like. At least I don't know, because for me that was one of the best experiences, just meeting her.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had gotten those Funko.
Who others did you get? Pops. You got Palpatine that time too, right?
Yep, Ian McDermott.
Who lied to us? He looked us in the face and did not tell us he was in the movie. What a piece of shit!
Really?
Yeah.
Well, right, because he's going to tell people.
Yes.
That was a huge reveal. Did you really think he was going to tell you?
Well, he should have told us at least. He's like, oh, these guys are gonna like set up Triad of the Force podcast. I'll give them an exclusive. They won't be able to reveal it like a year after this, but like they're getting it now. I felt betrayed by the man. Maybe he's a bigger scumbag than Billy Dee Williams. Now that I think of it.
Oh, come on!
He looked me in the fucking eyes and didn't like tell me that he was in that goddamn movie.
Yeah.
But that reveal for the trailer was
roll it again.
Amazing. When he just steps out and just roll it again, and then everybody, like I got chills. Everybody
just in my pants. Yes.
The trailer was so good. That's what makes me so sad, because the trailer was so good. I saw that thing and I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah. And like, again, we watched it on the floor, just like we were watching the Last Jedi one. And obviously, like, it's one thing, to like see it and like feel those chills, but then it's another thing to like be surrounded by, hundreds of people that are just as passionate as you for that and are reacting in the same way. It just like gives you so much more energy. And and then you got the movie. But we'll talk about the movie some other time.
Yeah, we will get into that one.
But who else?
later.
Who else
But
did
yeah.
I get? I got Hayden Christensen. That was actually really good. He was actually.
Oh, Hayden Christensen's supposed to be really nice.
He was.
too,
He
right?
was super nice. He was super. I was very surprised. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but like he was actually really cool. Like shook hands, talked to you a little bit. Obviously, you can't stay there and talk. You can't tell your life story there, but like,
well, obviously, there's a lot of people there that want to talk to them. Yeah.
But they did. But it was good. The interaction, it was positive, unlike other people that we won't keep referring back to.
Yeah, because you've called him a lot of names already.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't listen to this. Billy, if you listen to it, I love you. I'm just being. I just need to get some views and some listens. So this is all fake, man. It's all fake, just like reality TV.
I'm sure.
But
Anthony Daniels was amazing.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that we had got Anthony Daniels. He was so fucking cool. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you got Anthony Daniels on that one.
Oh yeah. He was really cool though, because like he was like the man's a smart man. He's a businessman. He wasn't like in the regular autograph hall in Chicago, where that was managed by Topps. He was actually like in his own room somewhere else with his own people, and it was cash and it was cash only. So man, he's gonna the man knows what's up.
But he was nice.
But like exactly, he was doing like 2 different time slots, and we got in like at the end of the first time slot, going into like the second one. So he had actually like wrapped up. So we were one of the first people in line for the second one, and he just like came back all of a sudden like early, because he said he was gonna go out for lunch, and we expected him to like be out for lunch for an hour. He actually like came back early and just started like going around the lines. Where all of us were, and like talking to everybody. Well, not talking. He wasn't talking to everybody. He was telling us stories.
I know, but that's super cool.
Yeah,
it felt like I felt like I was an Ewok listening to C-3PO
exactly
telling a story. That was the feel, honestly. I was
like, that's awesome.
Yes, he was like, "Oh, I'm not good at storytelling," and then it's like,
and then just whips out some amazing stories.
And you guys were like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Well, it was weird because it's like, you've seen interviews of him and whatnot on TV and shit, and you watch him at the movies and shit. But like all of a sudden, like the man standing right in front of you, looking you in the eye, telling you stories. It was like part of me was just like, wait, what is
surreal? It was
is
surreal.
This happening?
Wow, that sounds really cool. So something else you talked about, there's like hangouts after the Star Wars Celebration. I mean, we didn't go anywhere after Orlando.
Well, because Orlando, to tie that to Orlando, we didn't do any fucking research whatsoever, so we didn't know what the shit.
What happened? No, we didn't. Like I said, we failed.
And not only that,
it was still fun.
Not only that, we didn't even care to know what the nerds were up to afterwards or before, because we were like, well, fuck those nerds. We'll just do our thing because we're so much better than them.
Except like, we are total nerds, and now we want to do all those
exactly,
things.
and we're probably worse. But like for this time in Chicago, for last time in Chicago, Mo and I actually did like our due diligence. And we're fucking scouring Facebook and Reddit for like all the goddamn fucking events. Had a spreadsheet going to like know everything was going on. So we actually did go to some pre and post events. We didn't go like to some of the big ones, sadly, because you needed to get more tickets and shit for that. But it was really cool to like again be like in that environment of like passionate people, but in a social environment. I mean, it was kind of hard for me. I don't know about you, Mo. It was kind of harder for me because I'm not too comfortable speaking with people I don't know. But that's on me. But it was still cool to be like in that environment, which was something that we definitely need to keep improving upon.
Yes, and we saw. It was really fun. Like, especially like even like I think we mostly kept like talking between ourselves and our like, but just being in the presence of so many
nerds
fans that are into this, nerds like just because I felt comfortable. Like it's hard. Like sometimes like you would not like, oh, I don't want to classify myself as a nerd, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, everybody.
Oh, but we are.
A nerd.
But we are.
Yeah, but we are.
Well, I mean, we're doing a podcast about nerds. Yes.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
It takes just a little it takes a lot more than just a regular fan to do this kind of stuff. So yes, we are definitely nerds, and just to just to embrace that is it's great. It's a great experience just to just be who you are. Doesn't matter what other people think, and just being surrounded by so many cool, like, it was just, I love it.
It's super cool. And then you start talking about other things that aren't necessarily Star Wars either. You know.
Wait, what? There's other things?
Of course there are, and you know it. It's on your Twitter. That's why the conversations can go forever, because you get started on everything else, and it'll take forever.
It's like Wikipedia articles. You start reading about
then you end up knowing about the randomest thing.
Yeah,
in the world.
The new Mulan movie, and then you end up on squirrel intercourse or something.
Oh my God, it's true though.
Yeah, I ended up on squirrel intercourse Wikipedia pages. Yes.
Yes. Goose,
Maybe.
You are mentally healthy?
No, I don't think anyone's mentally healthy in 2020. I'm gonna be very
it has
frank
been a
about
year.
that.
It has definitely been a year.
It feels like it's been 15 years, but that's besides the point.
So, there's one story I do always remember. I'm not sure I'm not the best qualified to tell the story that happened in Orlando, because
Orlando.
I feel I was more of a central character at the story rather than. So I don't know if Nani, you want to take a stab at it, or Goose?
I think we can try to help each other out on this one.
Yeah, I think Nani, you have the better initial version of it.
Well, I mean, one thing we have to say about Orlando, I don't know how Chicago was, but Orlando was not as well organized.
It was a shit show.
It wasn't very well organized or anything. You would see lines going someplace and didn't know where it was going. And, herd mentality, people start following around, and you don't really know where you're going, and you don't know what's happening. So it was the day they were going to do the reveal of the Last Jedi trailer. And then obviously,
yes.
Yeah, obviously we didn't get there on time.
Obviously.
Again. And they're supposed to open the hall at a certain time, because obviously we didn't wait in line like 3 days earlier to try to get to the panel, because, we suck. But once we realized how fun it was, we decided that we really wanted to be on the show floor when they released the trailer. So we get there late. There's lines everywhere. Nobody can correctly answer which line is for what, because people are kind of standing around. They told me it was here, so I'm standing here, but there were like 5 different lines. So we were all super confused. The time is running out. We know the trailer's coming out. We start getting a little desperate. And then we see them taking was it the people for the panel, right? They started kind of herding them in one direction.
Well, that's the problem. We were literally like cattle in like our little pens and whatnot. And like the lines were going through, they were like in the back, and there was the corridor that actually took you to the like main convention area, that then the stairs then went up to where the main convention hall was, but then the floor was in that same floor we were at, but on the other side. So it was just kind of like, it was kind of a labyrinth in a way to like how to get from things. And then when they started like opening the lines, obviously they're doing it by by sections first instead of just opening at the same time, which is reasonable. But when they opened up for the people to go up into the convention hall, like that line literally was cutting the hallway that led to the main floor.
Yeah.
So like everyone was cut off going that way because there was just people going through across it.
Yeah. And then they hadn't really said if the main floor was even open. So everybody was confused because they're not letting people in and the thing is starting. And I remember we kind of tried to go with the people that got into the panel, but they had bracelets for it and we didn't. So then
we did consider maybe they won't know.
Yeah, maybe we can tag along. And then obviously they were checking the bracelets, so that didn't work. So we kind of cut through them and started going straight to the hall. It's like the hall is just that way, guys. Let's just go.
It was a little more nuanced than that, because I remember where we were sitting at, there was like an empty row of the little prod areas where everyone was being like kept, and there was like an empty one, and we were like, well, this is a great way to just cut through because we don't have to go around.
Cut through. Let's just go
we can
straight.
Just go down there, and then obviously the stanchions were there, so we just went underneath and just crossed, and and
it was just like the 5 of us, and then I think 4 of us got through, and then was it Guaco who got stuck behind my brother?
Well, it was way more dramatic than that because
okay, you do it. Go, Goose.
The minute
how did it go?
It was just I mean, this is a Try It of the Force podcast exclusive. We have never told the story to the larger Star Wars community at large. So please, fans, please, nerds, just forgive us. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't mean for this to happen. But like after we got out of the lines to just try to cut through to get into the convention to the main floor so we could watch the trailer, like, you know, it was just the 5 of us. We went through under the stanchions and started cutting through, but then all of a sudden we just hear like this cascade of like the metal dividers just like falling over.
Right behind it, it's like, guys, just keep going.
And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, what the fuck is that? But then like we kind of heard that it was increasing the noise, and then I just heard people starting to like walk like behind us, and I'm like, don't look back, just fuck it, don't fuck it. It's not our fault. Going. It's not our fault. Just keep going. And then at that point, which is what you were saying with Guaco, we got onto like the spot of the line.
At some point, they started to stop us. Like there were security guards that were trying to stop us, and we were like, no sé hablar inglés, con permiso.
Speak English, not very good looking, sir. I have to clean something over there. Excuse me. But because there was the one.
Totally did the cliche. No sé inglés por aquí, con permiso, bye.
But there was I remember it was like one peanut. Like it was. I feel really bad for that guy. He was. Like,
he was trying to hold back like 20 people.
And honestly, he was doing a good job
by himself. He was doing a good job, but I feel like everybody else was kind of afraid, and we were like, "Screw it, no sabemos inglés, bye." And then we just crossed, and then other people got the idea from us.
We just like, guys, let's just keep walking. Like,
everybody else was kind of like taken aback. They're like, "Oh no, there's a guard there. We have to respect that there's a guard." We're staying back, and we did not care.
We did not respect. I feel bad. I mean, but he didn't get paid enough.
I feel kind of
But it was funny because all 4 of us
we were
kept going, and then Guaco, the only like
got
one
stuck.
that gets fucked and stopped by the guy. But it was hilarious because then like Guaco's just there, the only one that was being stopped while everyone else is going around him.
And then we started texting. I remember like, try to figure out how to get through. We'll wait for you in the hall.
Well, it was funny how he got through because then he tells us like, well, you know, I just stood there, but then I just looked behind me and there was like a sea of people just going through. And like I told the guy, hey, you can stop me, but you're not going to stop all of them. And the guy was just like, fuck it, I don't get paid enough. And he just like put his arms up and Guaco was able to pass. So it was pandemonium. I remember looking back and being like, holy shit.
Because we left him behind. We totally left him behind.
Hey man, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. Any man that stays behind is left behind.
We were like, figure it out, make it through, because we're going. I'm not going to miss it.
We'll see you back in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
No, but I remember we started getting farther away, and then you could hear the tang, 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 tang of all the stands going on the floor, and I was like, oh my God, what did we do?
Did we just start a riot?
Oh my God. It was kind of hilarious. I'm never going to forget that. That was great.
It was
a great experience.
It was great.
And it wasn't like we even, it's not even, I don't think it's cutting in line. We were just testing the system. It failed.
We were actual Lucasfilm employees that were just planted there to make sure that the system was working, and clearly it was not. So we fulfilled our job.
They stepped it up in Chicago, which and I hope they step it up again in Anaheim. So it's all part of going forward.
No, Chicago. I think that how they were organized was actually like genius, and well, not genius, but like I think it was way better. Lots of people were bitching about it because it's like, oh man, but like you remove like the ability for people to control their, you know, in guaranteeing them getting inside the convention. But in my mind, it's like, no, I mean, it's chance, it's luck. Like the lottery system is just like, hey, it's the great equalizer. It's just like, hey, you just, you know, everyone's at mercy of chance, just like in life. But the advantage of that, though, it also takes away like you wasting your time standing in line. You can just like relax a little bit and plan better.
And it gives the chance, because then there's if you have to be there at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m., you know, it also opens up the chance for people that might, you know, you cannot, if you have some type of disability, if you have kids, if you have like, it's difficult to do those type of things. So it equalizes everybody. It gives the chance to anybody like, hey, it's just random luck. So I'm glad they did that.
I think it is kind of cool too, because you don't really want to spend the whole of the convention in a line for something. It is really cool to go to the show floor and watch all the presentations and see everything that they have. I mean, you can get anything from like, the t-shirts and stuff, but you get, all the toys, and there's so many things that you can see on the showroom floor as well, not just the panels. So it's really cool to try to balance out, doing some panels, being around the show floor and everything. So
yeah, at least that was like my experience coming into it, like for Chicago, like actually humbling myself and trying to plan it as opposed to Orlando. Was
and
kind
try
of
to do a balance
prioritizing.
between panels and the floor and
Exactly.
everything.
It's like because then obviously you have to like be strategic about it, because some autograph times or photograph ops are at get in the way of some panels and whatnot, because those are the only times.
And you have to decide what the priority is for this one or that one,
and plan like around that. So like your day gets filled up really fast, and it gets exhausting to the point. I remember,
which we had no idea about the first time. We were total noob. Yep.
I remember there were a couple of times when I had to like sit down and rest.
Well, I mean, even in Orlando, when we finally kind of started to figure out how things work, when we were doing the line for like the Rebels panel, and then we just like ended up like lying down on the floor waiting for it and just shooting the shit. And it was still fun, You meet people on the lines too.
You meet a lot of great people on the lines. So. But to like all our listeners, I would recommend, if you have the time and the opportunity, to definitely check out a Star Wars convention. It's gonna change your perspective.
Or any convention for that matter. I think Star Wars was great, but I can imagine like any of these other like
Comic-Con or anything.
Like being even better to a degree, because it's like more of the shit, more of the different shit.
It's more of everything.
Yep.
Yeah. So for everybody out there that thinks they're too cool for school, like we did,
you're not.
You are not. And you know that you're a nerd at heart. Suck it up. Go to a convention. Do cosplay if you're into it. Take pictures with everybody. Try to find everybody's autograph. You are going to feel so much better about yourself, because it's just great. Yeah. And you're going to realize that a lot of people out there literally have no shame. So even if you're a little bit of a nerd, you're not even close to some of them.
Oh, yeah.
They're great. And they're great. They don't care, and they're amazing.
This is true. There's always someone that's going to either make you feel better or make you feel inadequate. There's everything. But the cool thing is that even if you feel inadequate, you shouldn't, because it's all a family. It's not a competition.
Yeah. No, everybody loves it. They actually don't make you feel bad at all. Like if they're into cosplay and you're not, they're still like super cool with you taking pictures with them. I mean, they're not trying to outwin each other, I guess, is the
outfan each other.
Outfan. Yeah, that's it. Outfan. Yeah. They don't try to do that. They don't start asking you like, questions. Like, how much do you know? But with the judgy attitude.
I think that was the interesting thing that like I ran into, especially like in Orlando, and then obviously in Chicago more. And Mo, you can like add to this, because I think you feel the same way. Was like there's different ways to fan, which like I mean, obviously I've always been like aware of that, but I thought it was really, really interesting to see how people's fandoms are rooted in something different from the saga, because at least for me, in my mind, the quote-unquote normal way to fan is just like, well, you start with the original trilogy, then you saw the prequels, and from there you kind of read the shit or like played the video games, but kind of in that order, and like and like the original trilogy is up here, and then everything else is secondary, and like everything's rooted from that. But some people are like nada. Some people just take the prequels first and are super into that. And like now with the Rebels, there's a whole big, part of the fandom that's like super into that. And like that's some people, that's how they actually got into Star Wars, is through Rebels or Clone Wars, and that's their big main fandom. And the original trilogy is kind of like secondary to them in a way. And it's cool. It's cool just to see like how big and diverse the Star Wars galaxy is, that there's like no one right way to do it, and like all these perspectives are like super, super cool, super interesting. See how passionate people are about like the things that you wouldn't even think about being passionate.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Yep.
That is one of the best parts to see that.
That's that is the most fantastic aspect of it all. And it goes, that reminds me, I will definitely try to do a cosplay of the Bendu, if that's even possible.
Holy shit.
Well, more on that if an actual convention happens after COVID and we can actually participate.
But a Bendu cosplay would be good because you'd be like protected.
Yep.
You're wearing is basically a giant mask. You'd be insulated from like from the COVID.
Yep. It's like everybody will be spread around.
You are the one in the middle.
The one in the middle. Social distancing, everybody.
Yeah, social distancing.
Too bad Nani doesn't know about the Bendu.
Oh, shut up. I know. You have to pour salt on the wound, and now you have to criticize my knowledge as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
But only with you.
All
the other fans are allowed to like it the way they like it, except you. That's the
except me. Because I'm the friend, and screw me.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm glad we got that established. Well, anyway, I think we should start wrapping this up because we've been going on for a while. Is there anything anybody else wants to say before we go?
I think we pretty much covered everything. I think I don't know if we want to like discuss anything about DC fandom or digital conventions or the Mandalorian trailer, but other than that, I think we did a successful discussion here that I think tied nicely with the Radio Rebellion conversation we had.
Yeah,
definitely.
And this is just the beginning. Like we're still working on this.
We're trying to figure it out how to get cohesive episodes out and everything.
So thank you for all our listeners just sticking it with us, and just even if it's something to do during the pandemic, listen to three people rambling. I'm glad we could feel that niche.
Yeah, all 37 of you. Thank you.
Hey, it's more than we were expecting.
That's true. What we have to do is a pyramid scheme now. We got to get those 37 to give it to like some of three of their friends, and then those three, and keep branching out, and maybe we'll get some exponential numbers this week.
Pay it forward.
Well, anyways, to those that are listening, please like and subscribe, leave a review. And if you have any ideas of things you would want to listen to, you can give us ideas as well. We can include them. We don't have a set schedule for all the themes that we're going to be talking about. So you are welcome to let us know what you want to listen to.
If you want to invite us to your podcast, we are also available. If you want to be invited, we can also accommodate that as well. We are open to discussing ideas with other people. That makes for livelier conversations. So please feel free to leave a comment or direct messages on Twitter.
Yep. May the force be with everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Try out the force. Signing out.